Ready for a good laugh? Welcome to our joke time. Let's learn English with a smile.
A man walks into a restaurant, finds a seat, and prepares to order. At that moment, the waiter comes over, smiles, hands him a menu, and asks, "What would you like to eat today, sir?" The man looked at the menu and hesitated for a moment, then asked, "Do you have any special recommendations here?" The waiter smiled and replied, "Our special recommendations today are steak, chicken, and fried fish. What would you like to order?" The man thought for a moment and finally said, "I'd like the steak, but I don't eat red meat." The waiter froze slightly, still maintaining his smile, and said, "Then you can try our chicken or fried fish." The man continued to hesitate. "Chicken sounds good, but I've been on a diet lately, so I can't eat fried things." The waiter nods and politely suggests, "Then you can choose one of our low-fat salads, which is also a good choice." The man frowned, looking a little less than satisfied, and said, "But I don't really like lettuce." The waiter, still maintaining his patience and smile, asked, "So, what would you like to eat?" The man sighed helplessly, and after some thought said, "Never mind, I'd rather just have a glass of water."
Steak, no red meat, chicken, no fried salad, no lettuce. Give me a glass of water. Want to hear the next joke? Let's move on.
A fishing enthusiast arrives at a remote lake ready to enjoy a full day of fishing. Not long after he casts off his rod, a fisheries official suddenly appears, approaches him and says, "Sir, please show me your fishing license." The fishing enthusiast said awkwardly, "Oops, I forgot my fishing license. However, I assure you that I am fishing legally." The fisheries officer looked at him skeptically and said, "Well, you'll have to come with me then. It's illegal for you to fish this lake without a license." The fishing enthusiast had a bright idea and said, "You misunderstand, I'm not fishing. I'm actually bathing the worms on my hook." The fisheries officer sighed helplessly and could only smile and say, "Remember to bring your fishing license next time."
Bathing worms? Well, next time remember to bring your fishing license. A fishing license is essential for fishing. Ready for the next joke? Here we go.
A company owner was very confused during his annual financial audit. His company's profits seemed to be decreasing every year. So he decided to talk to the accountant himself. The owner asked the accountant, "How come I feel like our profits are decreasing every year, but you are making more money every year?" The accountant smiled and said, "Boss, I'm just keeping your money safer." Surprised, the owner asked, "How so?" The accountant replied, "Well, I keep them all in my own pocket, so they can't be stolen by someone on the outside."
Shh, it's a secret. Honesty is important. Honesty is the best policy. Next joke, even better.
A man was walking along the beach when he accidentally found an old oil lamp. Out of curiosity, he picked up the lamp and gently rubbed the body. Suddenly, a puff of smoke rose from the lamp, and the smoke gradually coalesced into a tall genie. The genie looked at the man and said solemnly, "You have freed me, so I can grant you 3 wishes. However, you need to consider this carefully, as these 3 wishes can only be granted once." When the man heard this, he was very excited and began to think about what he wanted most. After a while, he said, "First, I want endless wealth." The elf waved his hand, and in an instant, a huge vault appeared in front of the man, filled with gold, jewelry, and banknotes. The man's heart was filled with joy as he looked at the wealth in front of him. Then the man added, "I also want to live forever. I don't want to experience aging or death." The genie waved his hand again and said, "From now on, you will never grow old or die." The man felt very satisfied and realized that he had one more wish to grant. So he thought for a moment and then said, "Finally, I wish to never have to work again." The genie waved his finger a third time, followed by a gust of wind, and the man suddenly found himself back in the office he had just left. His desk was littered with unfinished papers and tasks, the phone was ringing, and the display screen was filled with urgent emails.
Your 3 wishes? Choose wisely. Are you ready for another joke?
A student was especially nervous before his final math exam, so he said to his friend, "I'm definitely screwed on this exam. I haven't reviewed anything." His friend reassured him, "Don't worry, I'll pray for you before the exam." After the exam, the student said to his friend, "Thank you for your prayers, although I still didn't answer a few questions." Surprised, the friend asked, "How come?" The student shrugged and said, "You probably didn't pray hard enough or prayed in the wrong direction." The friend asked, "Then how would you like me to pray?" The student smiled and said, "You should pray that the teacher will suddenly have a fit of mercy and change all the questions to multiple choice with only 2 options, A and B."
A or B? That's a tough one. Don't miss the last joke.
A man drives into the city and tries to find a parking space, but realizes that all the parking spaces on the street are full. He keeps circling around the block hoping to find an empty spot. As each minute passes, he becomes more and more anxious because he is about to be late for a very tight schedule. As he began to despair, it occurred to him to turn to God. So he looked up into the sky and prayed with a hint of nervousness and a pleading tone, "Lord, if you help me find a parking space, I swear that I will go to church every Sunday from now on, and that I will no longer lie or deceive others." Just as he finished praying, he saw a car pull out of a parking space right in front of him, leaving a perfect spot open. He could hardly believe his luck and immediately pulled in quickly. After parking the car, he looked up at the sky again and said easily, "Lord, don't bother. I've taken care of it myself."
We hope you like our jokes and that you can learn English in a happy atmosphere. Don't forget to laugh and learn. We'll see you in the next issue.